everybody, this is Erica back again for another foundation wear test review, and this one is going to be a first impression. I haven't tried it yet. I actually bought this foundation about a month ago and I haven't had a chance to try it out since then, so I figured I'd try it out on camera for you all. So today we have the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. It is cruelty free and it also says that it is not tested on animals. I have the shade Porcelain, and on the back it says helps eliminate white particle reflection, and it says it's tested in 7 light conditions, smartphone technology, flash, without flash. It's supposed to be a HD foundation, so we're going to give it a shot. So I will apply this like I would any normal foundation, and I'm going to do check-ins throughout the day to let you know how it's wearing, so you can see how the foundation does over time. So here we go, we'll get started. Okay guys, so this is my first voiceover. We're gonna give this a shot and see how it works out. But I am priming my face with the Smashbox primer. Just going in my normal circles to make sure all my pores get filled with that primer. And here I'm going in with my e.l.f. brush and just shaking that foundation up to make sure it's nice and mixed. And I've never worked with a foundation that has a spatula on the end, so I was taken a little bit by surprise there, but we'll give it a shot. Just dotting the foundation on my face here like normal. And using the e.l.f. brush, I'm just dabbing that into my skin, blending it out. And there we've got half the face done, half not done. I do feel like it is high, medium, low, full coverage. It actually has great coverage considering the price. And I'm noticing, let's see, right about here, that the foundation looks very cakey in some spots. It just looks very thick. So we're gonna try using a wet Real Technique sponge. I'm going to dab that all along my face, everywhere where I see it looks cakey and thick, to see if we can't get that to blend a little bit better and look less cakey. And that did help make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, now that's a little bit better. Right off the bat, using the brush like I normally do, it came out really cakey and really thick, which is not what I've seen it do on a lot of people who have done wear tests on this foundation. But I have this really odd thing with my skin. It just sort of, every once in a while, picks the foundation and just straight up rejects it. For whatever reason, the foundation just sits on top of my skin. I can't make it look good on my skin. I've tried wet beauty blenders, dry beauty blenders, different brushes, applying it with my fingers, different primers. It just picks a random foundation and it's just like, nope, you're not wearing this. So sometimes I can save it with a wet beauty blender, which is what I just tried to do, and it looks okay right now. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. Sometimes as my natural oils get going, the foundation looks better later on than it does when I apply it. So we'll see if this is one of those. Okay, and we're using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer like usual here. just dotting that in under my eye and blending it out with my brush, the same e.l.f. brush that I used for my foundation. And now I'm using this e.l.f. powder brush here, nice soft brush, and then using the matte Fit Me Poreless powder and setting my under eyes, setting all my concealer. And I've got my RCMA No Color powder here that I'm going to set my face with, just using this big fluffy Real Techniques brush. And then I'm using this e.l.f. flat brush here, and we are going to use the Maybelline Master Contour Palette. And I'm using this contour shade here. Just going to do my normal contouring using the flat brush, and then taking a fluffier brush and blending that out. And I'm using this Real Techniques multitask brush to apply my blush from that same palette. And I'm using that fluffy brush again just to blend the contour and the blush. And using this Royal and Nickel fan brush, I'm going to use the highlight from the same palette and highlight my face. It gives a really subtle but pretty highlight. It's definitely not anything super pigmented. Okay guys, so here is the finished look. Actually, let me take these off. Blush and bronzer blended pretty well, but it does look like my blush, contour, and my foundation is just sitting on top of my skin. I went over it, dabbed it with a wet beauty blender or a wet Real Techniques sponge, and it helped a little, but it didn't completely help, and it's kind of breaking up on my nose. Let me get up close so maybe you can see what's going on here. Let me bring this light down. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera. It is really hard to tell, but from afar it looks good, for pictures it looks good, but if someone were to actually look at my skin, I feel like they would definitely be able to tell that I am wearing foundation and that it is not laying on my skin very well. Now, this may just be one that my skin rejects, which means it probably works for everybody else. I've seen a lot of beauty gurus brag about this foundation and say that it works great for them. Okay. But it doesn't look like it's doing well for me, but then again, it may be one of those ones after my natural oils start to flow, it may dampen the foundation and make it look more like skin. So that's why I'm going to do check-ins throughout the day so that you can see the progress and how it's doing. It is 11:48 a.m. right now, so I will check back here in a couple of hours and we'll see how it's doing. Okay, so the foundation has been on for about 3 hours now, and as I suspected, it does look better. It looks less like it's sitting on top of my skin and more like skin-like as my oils have started to come through. I do need to blot though, because they are getting a little bit out of control. You can see there. It's not a ton of oils, but it's definitely there. It's definitely not controlling my oil. So maybe with a specific oil control primer it might do better, but it is starting to look a little heavy in the crease of my nose there, and it is starting to rub off on my chin a little and on my nose a little. It's just breaking down a little bit. So I have blotted. I'm going to try and see how it looks again here in a couple hours. Although I do have a migraine, so I am going to have to lay down for a little bit. So we'll see how it lasts through taking a little nap. But I will check in a little bit. Okay, so what ended up happening was I had a really bad migraine that day and ended up with a hot pack on my face. So the foundation was gone. I mean, it was just patchy and everything on my face. But it wasn't under normal wear, so that I totally understand. So I reapplied it today using the exact same products, reapplied it the exact same way as I did 2 days ago when I first filmed it, and I blotted at the 3-hour mark just like I did when we filmed it before, and right now we're looking at about the 7-hour mark, and it's oily, it's messy, it's breaking down, it's broke down here in my center of my forehead. On my nose, it's real patchy and is rubbing off just like before. It's real heavy in the creases of my nose, and it just looks like an oily mess right now. However, I did take some photographs of the foundation on my face, just took some regular selfie pictures shortly after that 3-hour mark from the other day, and it looked phenomenal. I've never had a foundation look that good in pictures before, so I'm thinking this is not a great long-term wearing foundation, but it is good for a special occasion when you're going to have a bunch of pictures taken, engagement photos, any type of photo shoot or anything like that. If you're going to put it on, wear it for a few hours, then have your pictures taken, and then go home and take it off, because it's just not a long wearing foundation. I even tried putting some mattifying primer. I used the Makeup Forever one, and it didn't do any good. As a matter of fact, I think today my forehead looked way more textured in pictures with the mattifying primer on than it did before just using the regular Smashbox primer. So that's where we are. Again, like I said, not a long wearing formula at all. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, and if y'all have any questions about the foundation or any suggestions of new videos for me to make or anything like that, be sure to put it in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button so that when I post new videos you get notification, and give it a thumbs up if you like these kind of videos. Thank you, and you all have a beautiful day.